I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't
God.
that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Out the pass for Keller, a defenseman. Nice move, cuts to the net, score! Megan Keller, the overtime hero, the United States, wins gold and beyond.
Speechless. Sorry, Canada. That's the way the cookie crumbles. USA 2. Canada 1. And a whole den full of Badgers to boot to bring home the gold for Team USA's women's hockey team, audio courtesy of NBC. That, my friend, is a core memory.
Oh, I went through every emotion that a sports fan could.
I could only imagine what you were like.
16 minutes.
Seriously.
And consider 14 of those minutes, nothing was happening.
Right? What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in. A celebratory day for the state and for the country. Gold medals abound. So many stories to share with you here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albright.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Ooh, okay. One down, one team down, one to go. But we have to start by playing catch up on this game. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, other that. Yeah, hold on. Hold the phone. Away we go with Team USA women's hockey beating Canada yesterday in the gold medal match 2-1 in overtime. It was nuts for a lot of different reasons. Mm-hmm. Number one, the USA apparently just forgot that they scored all the goals, or maybe they were fresh out of goal scoring ability. Like, hello.
Oh, Trevor, I was terrified. I was terrified because
you said that yesterday, right? That's audio I should have pulled.
We had you accused me of potentially jinxing the whole game, and I said, no, I did not. I did not jinx it. I did not say I already had my American flag out and was ready to party as if we had already won. I said, that's a jinx. I didn't say that. And then I realized in the moment, well, now I just did.
Yeah,
oh, crap.
Okay, thank you.
And then they are nothing. It's not like they were also giving up goals. No Freebird playing. Not at all. And I'm going, oh, no.
You done did it.
And I'm literally like squeamish in my chair. Like, this is the worst case scenario. And then 2 minutes left. They pull the goalie, which they talked about is early. Like, usually you wouldn't pull your goalie with 2 minutes left. Usually it's like they say under a minute. And I don't know why, but coach said, nope, let's go now. Ends up immediately paying off. They tie the game, send it into OT, and then that roller coaster. And then you got to sit. And they got to sit and wait for like 12 minutes before they start OT, which was even more nerve-wracking. Like, can we please keep going? Amazing.
Second period goal by Canada. 1-0 until Josh just said it. The final 2 minutes and 4 seconds. And leave it to the Badgers to get it done and send it to overtime. Layla Edwards on the assist to Hillary Knight, team captain, former Badger. She set some records. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, here's what that sounded like.
Across to Keller. Back out to Edwards. Edwards with a shot. Score! The United States ties it with a goaltender pulled with 2:04 remaining. The captain, Hillary Knight.
So that was an interesting goal, right? Because Layla Edwards was actually the one making the shot on goal that I don't think, because I don't know hockey that well, she's going to get credit for. She literally got it deflected by Hillary Knight, and that goes in. Hillary gets the goal credit, if you will.
Yeah.
Layla with the assist. But I find that so fascinating. It's a phenomenal play because she's sitting there right above the crease and deflects it, meaning nobody can see where the puck is.
Right. I mean, that's why they do it that way, right?
Right.
The goalie has an eye on the shot, but then in a split second at the last second, it's not there anymore. Now it's in the back of the net.
Turns out it's behind you.
Right. Right.
Oopsies.
And oh my gosh. I mean, if you didn't think that watching that entire match, I mean, it looked like the U.S. team, this dominant U.S. team, was outplayed. Like they were not the same U.S. women's hockey team we saw in the rest of the Olympics. To then in the last 3 or 4 minutes of actual play, 2-1, U.S. wins. Boom. I mean, crazy.
If you're Canada, how pissed are you?
Oh, I mean, the fact that those girls were as stunned as they were makes complete sense. I mean, you thought you had this game for 97% of the game. Whew.
I know, intense.
Also, I want to say, I know that the men's hockey team is in the semifinals. Everyone's going to focus on that. If I could have only had one, I mean, obviously I want them all, but I would have rather had the women win because the women had dominated this entire Olympics. I mean,
you want to talk about letdown.
Crushed every single team in their path. And so to see them, if they would have lost the last game and came away with silver, man, that would have really sucked.
All right, there's one set of gold medals for hockey in Team USA form. The next set, hopefully in the future, they play today at 2:10, the men's side versus Slovakia. It is the semi-final stage. The winner goes on to the gold medal game. Notes here from yesterday's women's game, the gold medal game, the gold medal winning game. Hillary Knight, former Wisconsin Badger, went and set some Olympic records of her own. She is now first ever to score 15 goals for women's hockey and first all time in points scored. That's bonkers, but it's not the first time she's done this. Up until 2025, she had the record for the Wisconsin Badgers women's hockey team for most points, and she also has still the most goals. Take a guess, Josh, how many goals Hillary Knight has as a Badger. She has 15 goals in the Olympics, which is the most of all time.
Yeah.
How many goals do you think she has at Wisconsin?
I mean, I'm going to guess. I have no idea. I'm going to guess more. I'm going to say 34.
143.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So scoring a lot of goals is par for the course.
Literally.
Hillary Knight. Yeah.
It's what she does best. Hillary Knight's 36 years old, according to the Wikipedia.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Fifth Olympics for her. Didn't see that coming.
I knew that. I guess I didn't do the math. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's only every 4 years. And if that's 5, I was told there would be no math, but 5 times 20 plus her age. Wowie. Amazing to see. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Incredible.
More of this conversation coming up later in the show. I came in this morning to a note in our show notes in the morning mind dump, as well as in I Have Questions. And all it read was, why the hell?
Yep.
And that was it.
That was it.
So Josh has a question in the next segment that starts with why the hell.
That's
and
right.
It has something to do with USA Hockey. That's all I got.
I'll tell you this, ADD is a real thing. I was halfway through typing out a thought and went, oh, what's that over there?
I didn't know if that was a note for me. Like, I don't know, man. Why the hell what?
Why the hell
what
what?
did I do?
What's Josh mad about? I'll tell you why I'm mad. I got questions.
That's coming up at 6:25. But first, let's play catch up.
Packers.
The only news out of 1265 yesterday was positive ones. The 28th inductee into the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame was chosen. His name is Patrick Saplicki of Stevens Point. What he receives as the honoree: 4 club seats to a 2026 home game, 4 pregame sideline passes, 4 passes to the Packers Hall of Fame, a custom Packers jersey, a $500 Pro Shop gift certificate. Congrats on your new jersey and maybe sunglasses or something. And more, Plus, his name is permanently in display inside the Packers Hall of Fame. I actually knew one of the finalists personally. There was 10 finalists. One of them was from De Pere. His name is Jeff Lanier. Bummed to see that he didn't win it. However, very happy for Patrick. I immediately reached out to the Packers and said, we would love to have Patrick on the show. And they said he's in.
Oh.
But he leaves for vacation today.
Oh.
So we're going to connect with him when he gets back. But
He's in the Fan Hall of Fame. That usually doesn't mean he's going anywhere. So we can have him on next week.
56,000 plus votes cast worldwide. Pretty intense.
Yeah.
Cool for him. Bigger news from the Brewers.
True.
Brewers.
Murph is here to stay. Reports broke, I think, by Ken Rosenthal.
Yep. Ken Rosenthal had
Pat Murphy signs a 3-year extension with a club option for 2029.
Are you sure it was I thought they said it was a not extension. It was a new contract.
A new 3-year deal.
Correct. So he had a year left, and now that year's going away. So essentially, it's adding 2 years on to the current deal. It is not the end of this year plus another 3 years. It is the last year of his current deal is gone, and now a new 3-year contract.
So here's what's crazy. Remember why Craig Counsell left?
No, because he's a traitor.
One word.
I don't know.
One word.
Oh, money?
Money.
Okay.
Money.
Well, he said he wanted a new challenge and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he also wanted more money.
Yeah.
It is being reported by Jeff Passan that there is apparently $8.95 million in new money guaranteed for Pat Murphy.
Yep.
Sorry, Craig.
Well, let's just quickly look at the resume. What did Pat Murphy do that Craig Counsell never could here? Oh, win manager of the year? Oh,
2 times in a row.
Oh, win it back-to-back years? Oh, get the team past the first round that they play in the postseason? Oh, yeah, those are all reasons why the Brewers went, no. He earned this. Keep him here. Proud of the Brewers for what they did yesterday.
Yeah, so the reason I said a 3-year deal is because, or a new 3-year extension essentially is he had this 1 year under his belt, and then there's 3 years after that, which includes a 2029 club option. So it really is a 4-year deal. He keeps this year, plus there's 3 new years on his deal through 2029, 27, 28, 29. The club option is in 2029. The Brewers kick off spring training baseball tomorrow versus the Guardians. It's 2:10 Central here in Wisconsin, and then it's on, man. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, games, split squad games. Baseball is officially back. Something else to note about what you were just saying, Josh, in regards to Craig Counsell and never being not only NL Manager of the Year, but struggling to get the team past the first round of the playoffs for years. He finished second, 2018, 2019, 2021. I just found it fascinating that in comes his mentor, not only does what he didn't do, and gets guaranteed money that Craig never got from the Brewers.
And this is the Pat Murphy story, beyond what he's done for the Brewers, is such a story about taking advantage of every opportunity you get. I don't think anyone, except for maybe Pat Murphy, thought that Pat Murphy was going to be here and do this. I think a lot of us went, okay, this is a hold me over. This was a guy that was under Craig, and he's just, but he's just going to be here until they can get Ricky Weeks up and going. We saw Ricky right by Pat Murphy. We thought that was going to be the next move. And then Pat Murphy said, no, this is mine. And he's literally, there's no way that this was the plan. He changed the plan. With his success, he changed the plan for the Milwaukee Brewers.
I certainly think he was going to get his shot, though.
Yeah, but I don't think his shot was realistically going to be a 4 or 5 year plan. I don't think
so. Don't ever say that to Murph. Punch you right in the face. Because I mentioned to him when he first got it that he was 65 years old. And not many people start a brand new career, a brand new job at 65. If I ever mention his age to him again, it will be too soon. I do think that this was plausible. He was there for how many years? Almost a decade before he got the managerial job. I think this, don't quote me on this, but something like season 11 for him. So, I mean, 8-ish years in Milwaukee already. They knew who he was. He never applied for the job, ever. Never asked for the job. Matt Arnold's son called him and offered him the job. And that, I would believe, came with some belief that this isn't just going to be a 1 or 2 year stint. I don't have any reason to believe that, even though Ricky Weeks was on the bench and by his side. Ricky's still in the team operations side of things. That's not abnormal either, by the way. Craig was there before he became manager. We'll see. We'll see. Murph is here to stay.
Yeah, either way, I think everyone is ecstatic about what Murph's done, the fact that Murph is here, the fact that the Brewers paid Murph what he deserves to keep him here. All of it is positive. Literally all of it is positive. This was a great move and a reason to celebrate on a Friday, thanks to the Milwaukee Brewers and Pat Murphy.
Hopefully there's a reason to celebrate at the Kohl Center on Sunday. Off to the Badgers.
Badgers.
Rebound game, please, for Wisconsin, hopefully, against Iowa. The game itself, Kohl Center, 3 o'clock Central on Sunday, FS1, according to my research. The good news is Iowa's coming in after a big look. Oh, no. Iowa just beat Nebraska, number 9.
Yeah, they had their own little court storming sesh.
Okay.
But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. And if you don't believe me, ask the Badgers. Because they literally upset Michigan State and then got trounced. So, I think we're reaching the point in the season, though, where every game counts. If you're really thinking that this Badgers team is doing something, we talk about this all the time in sports of when you need to get hot, and it felt like the Badgers were slowly ramping up, and then they had that game, right? So you kind of need to prove that game was a fluke, and then just keep still ramping up as we get into Big Ten conference tournament play.
The stock market doesn't go straight up all the time. It's just big downer a little bit.
Correct.
More up, maybe a little downer in the Big Ten.
That's what we need.
We'll see. What they need to see is aggressiveness. That's what's missing for Wisconsin right now. Greg Gard pointed out that intensity and aggressiveness and focus was literally nowhere to be seen in Columbus in comparison to what it was against Michigan State. Just think about that. What a dud of a game against Ohio State, coming off of a huge win over Michigan State. The tales of two teams, frankly, nowhere near the same look. That's Sunday, 3 o'clock. And, congrats to all of the Badgers that just brought home gold medals for Team USA.
Hell yeah.
And I mean this, all of our best to the Badgers that were on Team Canada. I mean that. I was watching as they shook hands after the game, hoping that we would see a little Wisconsin love in between them. I believe there was. Although that's not the moment. You allow a head to go on a shoulder and say, I'm sorry, this sucks.
Yep.
But nonetheless, we talked about this the other day, Josh. That was a team that took home a silver medal.
Right.
And they couldn't be unhappier.
Right. It's when it comes to match, and I didn't realize it until probably a week ago, but I was like, when it comes to match play, in that moment, maybe years from now, you'll feel differently looking at a silver medal in comparison to a bronze. But in the moment, and for a while, winning bronze feels a hell of a lot better than winning silver.
So weird. On to the Bucks. Part 2 of the Bucks season starts tonight at New Orleans. It lists Giannis out. All right.
Yep.
Now, the big question is, when's he coming back? And what does the second half of the season look like for the Bucks? The urgency is yesterday. If they're going to do a thing, they needed to start doing a thing yesterday. Meaning, I hope it's not too late for the Bucks to recover if they get Giannis back and if they can continue to keep games close. Because somehow, with a couple new guys, even with Giannis out, it didn't look terrible. Knock on all the for Mike.
There was a spark. There was a spark from that team down the stretch there before the All-Star break. Now you just hope that whatever new magic they had didn't go away and they can continue what they were doing, and that the Milwaukee Bucks 2026 tank edition was the shortest in the history of tanking. And I think we tanked for a week. Now it's over. It all starts
Anything
tonight.
else?
I don't know.
Anything else?
Yeah, a couple things.
Okay.
Jordan Stolz was a speed skating second placer yesterday. Won the 500, won the 1,000. When you put those two together, 1,500, that's a second place finish yesterday for Jordan Stolz. His silver time was 142.75. Whoa. China's Ning Zhongyan took gold in an Olympic record time of 141.98, almost a second faster than Jordan Stolz. That doesn't happen.
Is Jordan Stolz past his prime? Let us know now. 414-677-12. No.
But I think but I don't think he's peaked.
Yeah, hasn't hit
We're
his
not
peak.
starting that again.
I do think it's so funny just as a fan watching the Olympics, realizing you know nothing. You're a sponge. You're taking it all in. And when he won the 500, they said that like out of the four, that was the one that he wasn't supposed to win. So then in this one, like they had said, oh, if you enjoyed that, just wait. This is where he's really going to shine. And then he took silver. And I think a lot of us casual people that had no idea, didn't even know the story of Jordan Stolz before the Olympics, are going, oh, come on. What are you doing?
Bro.
This is when you were supposed to get gold. He's
Dude from China
silver.
was insanity. That was 2 races before Jordan's. So he had to sit there and think about that. Just watch somebody that wasn't picked to win set an Olympic record. He's like, oh, great. I know nothing about speed skating.
Nothing.
But if I had to guess what went wrong, it simply appeared he got out of the gate or off the line a little late. It wasn't like as bang, bang as I expected it to be. I heard it, and then I saw him go. And the reason I say that is because the 2 races before Stolz got restarted because somebody started too early.
Yeah. Which did you know that even if it wasn't your fault in like head-to-head matches in speed skating, if your opponent jumps the line, and then if one of you does that again, then
you're both out?
You're both out.
Oh.
So like, right. So like you could have had a perfect jump, but if your opponent didn't and they jumped early, now they both got to wait like that split second for the gun on that second try.
That's, I think, what got him. It looked like those dudes had the yips because it happened 2 times before. Oh, my God, I would punch that dude right in the face if that happened.
I know, right?
Hoy. The other thing of note today, and then we're going to get to break and get to I Have Questions, so get your questions in now. We have the answers. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. There's a few in there already that we will get to in I Have Questions. But last and not least, Doug Gottlieb sits out his 1-game suspension tonight at Oakland. He was asked what he plans to do. He said, I have no idea. I called him yesterday. He called me back yesterday afternoon, and I was like, all right, buddy, what are we doing? What are you doing? How are you doing this? Told him I was thinking about coming over there and then almost blew it with my son's pep rally this afternoon.
Yeah.
The end of an era for Riker. Yeah, that would have been really bad. So he said, I think I'm just going to be in my hotel room. And I said, well, then why don't we have a watch party and stream you watching it? He said, let me clear it with Josh Moon. Not Josh Albrecht, sorry.
Yeah. He didn't reach out to me.
I haven't heard back, but keep an eye on Twitter today at Trevor Thomas IW at On Air Josh. If we learn that Doug can be a part of some kind of stream watch party, like so many Packer watch parties happen, can you imagine?
Can I just say that if I was Josh Moon, I would not let that happen.
Oh, come on. Why?
I don't know. Doug streaming for 2.5 hours, watching the game. I don't know. You probably don't need that audio out there.
It's probably why Josh and Doug didn't call me back after we had that.
That'd be my guess.
Don't get your hopes up, but do ask questions. We're doing that next. I have no idea what the question is that says, what the hell? My little ADD buddy over there didn't finish his sentence. I guess we're going to get to that next. Plus,
it's a tease. That's all.
Yeah, nailed it. Plus, how do we feel about the ranking of the sports teams in Wisconsin? It's usually Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, other. We say that every morning. Is that the truth? Are the Green Bay Packers still the fan favorite in Wisconsin? Or have the Brewers eclipsed them with what has happened in Milwaukee the last few years? They have for me. I'm curious where you stand. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. Off and running on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The Brewers gave Pat Murphy a new 3-year deal yesterday. Tim Allen and Tommy Warts talked about it on Hot Stove Weekly last night with guest Jared Koenig, Jeff Levering, and The Miz. Go back and listen at wisportsradio.com. We're inside Wisconsin sports with Trevor and Josh. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line is open, 414-677-1250. And it is time to ask some questions. Question mark? I say question mark because that's what my sheet says.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yep.
And that's it. So I have questions as to what that means. But before we get into that, real quick, somebody on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250, says, hey, can we go outside of Wisconsin for a minute and dunk on the Bears moving to Indiana? Oh, we will.
Yeah.
We actually have an entire segment planned for that today. It's called the Morning Mind Dump. That's coming up next at the top of the hour after the most electrifying sound of the day. But first, what the hell?
Yeah, all right, I'll tell you what the hell. What the hell are the Olympics doing not giving medals to the coaches? Did you know this?
No.
I didn't know this. So there was, social media has been all over the Olympics, right? All these different things. And the women's hockey coach, John Robluski, if I'm saying that right, said, was shown asking Megan Keller if he could hold her medal. And I went, what's special about hers? And then I'm reading the comments. Well, he's asking to hold it because he doesn't get one. And I went, what is this, new? No, it's never been that way. I had no idea that the coaches of the teams or even the individuals don't get anything. Jack squat. There's not even like a different coach's medal that they get. It's literally nothing. There's nothing awarded from the Olympic Committee to the head coaches for what they do in the Olympics. What the hell?
I want to know what Team USA does to make that right. There's got to be something. There's no way he goes home or back to his house empty-handed. I don't know if you can buy one. Taxpayer money, go for it.
Yeah, right.
It's the best thing we've spent taxpayer money on in a long time.
And there were some people saying you don't understand all the work, the preparation that goes into it. Like the medals are specifically have to be just for the athletes. If that's your argument, then fine. Then have a different prestigious award that goes to the coach. Have something that goes to the coach. You don't understand. For Olympic athletes, the coaches are usually with them for a very long time. And it is not a situation where coaches are just get a 2-week vacation to where they get to go to the Olympics and coach a team. It's a lot of work. It's just as much of a dedication, maybe not like their entire life, but usually they're a part of the sport and doing this for their entire life to get nothing. What the hell? I could not believe that.
Well, thanks for finishing the question.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's garbage. I was really pissed about it, especially seeing his emotion too. Obviously he's happy for the girls, for his team. Well, of course he is. You expected it, maybe not him showing that much emotion, but to then find out he doesn't even get any hardware to take home, I was frustrated with that.
Another question we have today, if you had to rank Wisconsin sports teams, let's just use the big four, Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks. How do you rank them? So many people over all of these years have had the Packers first and then the rest fall in line. I don't know if that's the case anymore. And we're curious about that. What is your rank? Just rank these four: Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, in whatever order you want. Josh, what's your rank?
Mine is definitely Brewers first, then Packers, Bucks.
And then Badgers?
And then Badgers, yeah.
or basketball or college, however
College
you want to put it.
basketball, yeah.
Brewers are first for me, then Packers, then college athletics of literally any kind, and then the Bucks. I don't follow the Bucks. I mean, I follow the Bucks because I do this for a living, but I don't, as a fan, follow the Bucks anywhere near like I follow the other teams on that list. I wonder how many people like you and I have the Brewers first.
Well, I will tell you this. For a very, very, very long time, it was never in question that the Packers were first.
That's my point.
But what do I say on the show all the time?
It's not done yet.
Well, okay, that's true. That's probably the number one answer on the board. But further down on that
this
list,
could be a fun question. This could be a fun question.
All right, go ahead.
What do I say on this show all the time? We're not done yet. That's all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all you got. What else you got?
Winning changes everything.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You do say that all the time.
Winning changes everything. Look at what the Brewers organization has done, and look at what the Packers organization has done. I'm not saying that the Packers are losing the fan base, but when you are consistently doing the same thing of 7 seed and out, and the Brewers are staying savvy, doing their thing, giving people cheeseburgers. I should say hamburgers, not cheeseburgers. It's just hamburgers. But getting people hamburgers from Webb's, setting records, new streaks, 97 wins, making it to the NLCS. That's exciting. That's wins. Winning changes everything. And I think that I would be surprised if more people aren't swaying towards putting the Brewers first when they continue to see the moves that the Brewers make and the success the Brewers have had.
That's how I rank. Where do you rank them? Brewers, Packers, college, Bucks. For me, Josh is Brewers, Packers, Bucks, and then college. What's yours? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk-In text line. The question of the day in I Have Questions. When we get back, the most electrifying sound of the day. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It's time for
The most electrifying,
Sound of the Day
the most electrifying.
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Alyssa Liu is the gold medalist at the Olympics. The comeback is complete, and the final step is up to the top step of the Olympic podium.
And that call of Alyssa Liu finding out that she is the gold medalist in singles figure skating, brought to you by NBC. There is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress, connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. Did you, first of all, this happened. Alyssa Liu wins gold. First time U.S. women's figure skater won gold in the singles competition since 2002. So it's been a minute.
24-year drought.
Yep.
Sarah Hughes was the last one.
Crazy in its own right. But she did that like within an hour of when the women's hockey team won gold.
Nice.
So I feel like it took a lot of people to even realize what was happening because they were still celebrating the hockey gold. Alyssa Liu has an incredible story. Her father came here, immigrant from China, was not happy with the situation there, comes to America for the Beijing Olympics. China tried recruiting Alyssa. They said no. She then retired from skating. Too much stress, didn't do it.
Wanted a normal life.
Correct. Comes back 2 years later, which let me tell you, for Olympic athletes, like that is not easy to do. Like you are constantly doing this or you're done. Comes back 2 years later and is now representing the United States of America and winning gold. Boom. What a story. Awesome. And it was just so like, you can't help it. If you've watched or seen any photos from her on the podium or anything, it's hard to not just smile when you see like the joy in Alyssa's face in just her routine afterwards, all of it. Another great thing. I mean, she's literally in skates. There's a photo of her jumping higher than either of us could on the podium after getting her gold medal. Just awesome. Awesome energy, awesome story.
Speak for yourself, as long as I don't blow an Achilles.
I don't know. She's got some height, man.
Yeah, well, she's also, 4'10", probably?
Yeah, also like an Olympic athlete who...
There's that. She won the 2025 World Championships, and the world went ruh-roh. It's actually her second gold medal in this Olympics. The first one came with the U.S. team victory, winning gold. Good for her. Pretty awesome story.
It's an incredible story. That's those are the kind of things that I don't feel like are highlighted that are as much anymore, that are just an awesome thing to be highlighted in the Olympics, right? Like that's the type of story of what makes this country great and why we celebrate these athletes.
All right, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. A few more texts here about what's your rank? Wisconsin sports teams. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks. What order is your fandom fall? Mine, Brewers, Packers, College, Bucks. Josh's?
Yeah.
Brewers?
Yep.
Packers?
Yep.
Bucks?
Yep.
The rest?
Yep, you got it.
Daryl, Bucks first, then Packers, then Brewers, then Badgers.
Mm-hmm.
The 920 says Packers, Badgers, Bucks, Brewers. That's John and D. Pier. The 920 above that, that's, who is that? Nobody. Just the 920 says, all right, Packers first, and then there's a 2A and a 2B. The 2A, Brewers. The 2B, College in general. Then number 4, the NHL. 5, NASCAR. 6, local racing. And then 7, Bucks. Just not as much of a Bucks fan as it's an NBA problem. People don't want to watch the effortless product that's out there. Shocker. People enjoy defense too. I wonder how many people feel that way just about the NBA in general. The Bucks do get thrown in the pile of NBA effortlessness, unfortunately for them. Coming up next, too, we want to jump out of Wisconsin for a hot second, only because it involves our arch enemy, the Chicago Bears.
As of now,
Jeff from Fox Point texts in on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. By the way, we say that number all the time, and so many people don't save it in their phone. 414-677-1250. If you want to engage and shoot us a text or give us a call, throw that number in your phone. Jeff says, talking about the Bears' possible move to Indiana, he's all about the Bears still suck mantra. However, I don't like that the Bears can possibly move to Indiana. I think it tarnishes the rivalry. He wants the Bears to stay in Illinois. Hope they can figure it out in Arlington Park. Do you have a take on that, Josh?
Yeah, that's an interesting take.
Entire breakdown of all things Bears moving to Indiana.
I think that's a very interesting point. I will say, no, I think it's hilarious, Jeff, if they move to Indiana. I don't think it will. Also, I don't think it will change the rivalry. I think it'll just be a feather in the cap, a different card that can be played from the state of Wisconsin and Packers fans to Bears fans of saying, but your team doesn't even play in your state anymore, or, being able to throw that out there. I don't think it's going to squash any rivalry. I really don't. And I'll tell you this, I've talked to a few Bears fans yesterday about it, and they've all said how, yeah, but like, you don't understand, like, that's still Chicagoland area. Like, everyone considers that part of Indiana, Chicago.
Well, except when they use Indiana money.
Well, so this, but I'm saying, like, as a fan, they're looking at it and they're not going, like, they're still mad about it, but they're like, yeah, I mean, it's not like they're moving to Iowa, essentially, is what they're saying.
That's an excuse.
It is an excuse. It is. I agree with you on that. And I have been telling everyone, let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes a little bit and look at exactly what has transpired so far. Because at this point, I still think it's a lot of puffing up chests more than anything else at this point.
Well, but there was some actual news yesterday. And if Illinois is pissed, I'm happy. We'll review what the actual news was yesterday out of Indiana that got everybody's feathers ruffled in Chicago, and specifically Bears fans. When their feathers are ruffled, I think it's Wisconsin newsworthy. That is for a fact. The hardest part about this is that they launched in 1919, just like the Packers. So yes, rivalry, 100+ years. And every single time the Bears are listed in literally anything ever is Chicago. And there's significant history with the Packers, not only from a football standpoint, but also Curly Lambeau went to Chicago after he left Green Bay. And
sure,
I believe Hallis was a part of funerals here in Green Bay in regards to Lambeau himself. So the rich history is true. And even us as Packer fans would be a struggle to see the word Bears and not have Chicago in front of it, because it's been so fun to hate on them. My question is, and I want to get into this, can we still hate Illinois in regard to football if they're now not the Chicago Bears anymore? I think so.
Yes.
Like, and leave it to the Bears to screw this up somehow.
We can. And they're not the first or even the second NFL team that would be representing a different city or state than the one they're playing in, right? New York. Two teams in New York that play in New Jersey. And it's just kind of like a running joke. But when you see them in the news, they still say New York. When they're talking about the team, they go, well, New York needs to fix their problem. They're not saying that team in New Jersey. It'd be the same thing.
We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin sports with Trevor and Josh. We'll talk about that next in the Morning Mind Dump. If you've got things to get off your chest and out of your head, send them our way. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. Good morning, Wisconsin. Stay here. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
The outlet pass for Keller, a defenseman. Nice move, cuts to the net, score! Megan Keller, the overtime hero, United States, wins gold and belong.
What's up, Wisconsin? A proud morning to be a cheesehead. So many Wisconsin Badgers bringing home gold from Italy as part of the U.S. women's hockey team, making us sweat it out yesterday. Not nice.
As
but
long
a
as
great
it finished the way it did.
It's all that matters.
Yep.
USA 2, Canada 1, an overtime game winner. Audio there courtesy of NBC. Megan Keller with the goal for Team USA, 4 minutes and 7 seconds in overtime, and the rest is history. But history doesn't happen without the Wisconsin Badgers, and that's maybe my favorite part of the whole thing. It's been that way for the entire Olympics. Third period, 2:04 left. Hillary Knight, Team USA, former Wisconsin Badger, an assist from Layla Edwards, which was a shot on goal and then a deflection from Hillary Knight. The game tying goal, Badger to Badger. Josh, do we have that by chance?
You bet we do.
Let's listen.
Across to Keller, back out to Edwards. Edwards with a shot, score! Yeah! The United States ties it with a goaltender pole with 2:04 remaining. The captain, Hillary Knight.
The captain and the record holder, not only at the University of Wisconsin with 143 goals in her career, but she's now the all-time goal leader in world history for Team USA with her 15th career Olympic gold, making her the all-time U.S. women's Olympic goal leader, which, by the way, she's also the points leader for Team USA. And she was for the longest time for Wisconsin as well until that was broken here in the 2025 season. Nonetheless, gold abound for Team USA and Wisconsin ties, including John Wroblewski from Neenah, the head coach of Team USA women's hockey. We must know someone in Neenah.
Where the hell is Nina?
Now, here we go. I almost said that, and I'm like, nah.
Every time. Nope, I'll do it every time.
Where the Neenah? Where the
Yeehaw.
My friend Gina just texted me and said, you know.
What?
Once a Badger, always a Badger. Not a former Badger.
Oh.
Once a Badger, always a Badger.
That's a good point. She makes a good
You would
point.
think I would have learned my lesson on that one when I called Jonathan Taylor, a former Badger, on the podcast that is Inside Wisconsin. That was a mistake. Thank you, Gina, for correcting me. Time for the morning mind dump.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as bad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We've got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time for the morning mind dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. This will be of Gina's interest as well because she is a Bears fan. But
Thoughts and prayers for her.
She's a Packer fan too. She's one of them weird ones where unless the Packers are playing the Bears, she used to wear Bears stuff.
No, it's still
they
wrong.
are within our neighborhoods, and they are friends and family, and we would just prefer not to know who you are.
Yeah.
If you are a Bears fan, just keep it to yourself.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm just I'll politely nod in passing.
She's the best. What Bears though? The what Bears? Been the Chicago Bears since 1919 until soon. What is going on in Chicago? So here's the news, or it's not so much Chicago, but what's going on in Indiana. The news from yesterday that broke and made waves. The Indiana lawmakers advanced legislation designed specifically to make a Bears stadium in Northwest Indiana possible, and the Bears publicly praised it. This isn't rumor mill stuff. This isn't, they're all just, standing up and puffing chests and all that jazz. No. There is a bill in the Indiana Senate Bill number 27, that amended and advanced to create a Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority, basically a government entity that would acquire land, issue bonds, and structure financing for a stadium project near Wolf Lake in Hammond, Indiana. And then the Bears came out and said, this is the most meaningful step they've seen in their stadium search, and they'll continue to do their due diligence. And then Illinois got pissed, and that's when the fun starts.
Yeah, I think if you have been kind of, I don't want to say sleeping under a rock, but if you're unaware, right, the current situation with the Bears in Chicago, they play at Soldier Field, obviously, but they don't own Soldier Field, right? The city owns Soldier Field, so that has been kind of the issue here. Is like the lease is up, and they're negotiating. There's a lot of negotiating, and as I said, a lot of puffing of chests, not a lot of moves being made. This move from the state of Indiana is the first actual move. However, I just got to put this out there. I'm sorry. It's part of being a realist. Nothing's actually happened yet. And that message from the Bears to me read like, I mean, we really don't want to leave Illinois. It's not going to be better for us.
Nothing's happened, because that was a major move by Indiana.
Yeah, but all they did, all that was to me at this point is a piece of paper that the Bears can now take back to Illinois and say, hey, if you don't take care of us, we can move. See, it's no different than like just having leverage at a job. If you think you deserve a promotion and you have a letter from a competitor that says, well, we'll pay you X amount to come work here, you can go to your current employer and say, do you want to match this? Otherwise, I'm gone. So they can use that as leverage against the city of Chicago or, in Illinois, the state of Illinois. But at this point, nothing's been signed. There's nothing in place, nor did the state of Illinois come out and say, good riddance, bye-bye. Like none of that has happened yet. So at this point, all it is an offer. There's an offer out there. That's it.
Yeah, there's certainly some moving and shaking going on, and some believe that this might lead to what they would call a bidding war for infrastructure and money and control, with Indiana jumping in, making everyone else blink and go, okay, this is real. This is not abnormal, though, in professional sports. We have many a story here in Wisconsin that line up directly with this. Remember, the Packers did this very same thing, only it was never a we're leaving scenario. It was a we want to stay scenario, and we have to figure out how to fund a Lambeau Field redevelopment. And then the tax and the vote in 2000. The voters approved a 0.5% sales tax to fund Lambeau Field. The tax began in 2001, and the project modernized Lambeau while keeping the team in place. So it worked here. The problem is Chicago can't get out of their own way. Shocker.
Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing, too, and kind of the funny thing is like, I mean, we went through this with the Brewers, right? And when in some cases, it wasn't necessarily moving the team. It was a possibility of selling the team if the Brewers weren't able to make something happen with Miller Park and and finding the funding for the new stadium. And then even since then, there were conversations still of, updates and does it make sense to have the team be here, blah, 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 blah. But the Bears are coming off of like the most exciting season they've had in a while. And so the fact that if you're a Bears fan, man, do you need to get stuff off your chest today, huh? Because this is the time when you've been able to revel in beating the Packers, ending the Packers season. You got to do that this year. And do you get to walk around celebrating it, partying? No, your organization is making all of the headlines about going to Indiana. Not a good look, and definitely frustrating if you're a Bears fan. If you're a Packers fan, it helps. It helps us because we're still healing from losing to you, and now we're going to go Bears classic.
Get your popcorn ready, though. I mean, to your point, this isn't a done deal. This isn't a thing. But when legislation moves, I mean, look what happened with the Kansas City Chiefs. Legislation happened, and they're moving out of state from Kansas City, Missouri, to Kansas.
Right, but it's still Kansas City.
But it's a completely different state, which means all of the tax benefits and all of the revenue and a brand new stadium leaves one state and moves to another. And that's got people twisted with this. Wisconsin really has created the roadmap on how to get this done. All of our stadiums in Wisconsin have something tied to public funding. We talked about the vote that is the 0.5% sales tax here in Brown County, where I am, at 99.7 WNFL. I believe there's some sort of state tax or some sort of state funding, as in $500 million of public funding over decades for AmFam Field.
Yep.
There in Milwaukee, where Josh is, at 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan. The same thing is true for the Fiserv Forum. It was one of the arena deals that worked where it had public and private funding in it. So this isn't anything abnormal. Now pause. Good morning to the rest of the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network in Wausau at 93.9 The Game, in Duluth Superior at 710 The Game. I don't think you guys are paying state taxes that help fund teams there, but I could be wrong. I know that the state funding that came for AmFam Field was the entire state. Here in Brown County, it's only a 0.5% sales tax for us. It's 5.5% here in Brown County. Anytime you pay cash, check, credit card, or whatever, tap, Apple, this, whatever.
Yep.
That, though, was supposed to run out, and it didn't. It's still in play, and it will, knock on whatever, probably forever be in play. That funding still exists, and then they disperse funding, and then they figure out what to do with it next. And is it going to go away? And it's this constant weird battle, just like, weirdly, there's a battle between the Packers and the city of Green Bay in regard to the lease of Lambeau Field. So these things happen. It's happened with every professional sports team in the state of Wisconsin. But look what we've done. Lambeau Field and the Packers are in Green Bay because the vote passed. Josh, it was close. Bob Harlan, then team president, went door to door to make sure that vote passed. And it did.
Yeah, and thank the Lord for him.
Fast forward, the same thing happened with AmFam Field.
Yep.
And not once, but twice.
Yep.
And that passed at the state level. So too with Fiserv Forum. However, back out of that for a second. We're not shy and prideful enough to say we could have lost all three of our professional sports teams had we not gotten a stadium deal done. The Bradley Center was cooked.
Yep.
It was either new stadium or the Bucks are gone. Fiserv Forum stands. The Bradley Center is gone. Alas, it worked. The Milwaukee Brewers needed a new stadium. County Stadium wasn't getting it done anymore. Now, looking back, phenomenal place. Can I just pee in the trough one more time, please? Can I say that on the radio, or do we have to dump that?
No, you said it. I didn't dump it.
Okay.
So
those were the good old days, the troughs. But alas, we needed public funding, and Miller Park was born. Now AmFam Field. Same thing true here in Green Bay. There was a hot minute in the late 90s, early 2000s when it was plausible that the Green Bay Packers were not going to work in Green Bay long term. The financials were effed. And they passed a vote to use public funding to keep the team here. Why Chicago can't get out of their own way is beyond me. Are they broke in Illinois? They might be. I don't have a clue. But the fact that they're even toying with moving to Indiana is bonkers.
Well, and the story about them with Soldier Field is an interesting one, right? Because that was like, okay, it sounds like, a little bit of greed with the team wanting to own the facility, because any concert or any other event that happens at Soldier Field, that's all money that goes to the city because the city owns Soldier Field. So it is not like the Bears make any of that revenue. So, and the city was not willing to say, yeah, Chicago Bears, you can buy Soldier Field from us. That wasn't willing to happen either. So the whole conversation about Arlington Heights, like that kind of, I was like, okay, so they're going to move out of Chicago, but still in Illinois. They're going to find a place outside of the city, probably with better parking. They're going to build a different stadium. We'll still be able to laugh at them. But that's where I thought it was going to end, was just the Arlington Heights side of it. And then and to be honest with you, I guess I'd need to hear from a Bears fan, but I'm still kind of confused on why the Arlington Heights thing ended or stalled, or why that became not the main goal. And then it was like, because the only thing I've heard was Arlington Heights stalled because Indiana went, we have a juicier offer. Why don't you come here? And that, as a Bears fan, would make me mad, because now you're saying we're going to move the team you love out of the state you live in because of money. We have another option, but we're going to take the money route instead.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. As Wisconsin sports fans, we just kind of get to sit back with our popcorn and an old-fashioned and watch this play out. And it's true that nothing has officially been said the Bears are moving, but there are some things moving in that direction that involve steps that have boxes checked. And that's the weird part about this.
I want to read this one quick text here from Jeff in Fox Point on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. He says, live from Hammond, Indiana, it's the Chicago Bears against the Green Bay Packers. It's so hilarious, but so weird to hear. That's a good point. Like, just, if that's how they start a broadcast, saying, like, we're coming to you live from whatever the name of the stadium is in Hammond, Indiana, for the Chicago Bears against the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, that does sound super weird. I don't know. I never viewed it, though, until Jeff brought this point up as a little bit of a tarnishing the legacy of the most historic rivalry in potentially all of sports. And I'd be curious to get everyone else's thoughts on that. Do you think that if the Bears didn't have their home be in Illinois anymore, that it does something to the rivalry with the Green Bay Packers?
So does it mess with the history books? No. But what does it do to the thing that is the Packers-Bears rivalry moving forward? Does it affect it, or do we just get to point and laugh? What do you think, Josh?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I feel like with as much history as there is, it won't affect anything, because you'll be able to play highlights and talk about how things have been this way for over 100 years between these two teams. But I really don't know. It's going to change things with the landscape. What are they going to show? Clips of the Chicago skyline when they're talking about who the sponsors of the game are, but coming back from a break, or are they going to show Indiana? Like, what? I really don't know. It would definitely be a change. It would be something that would take fans a while to get used to.
Real quick clarity piece on the 0.5% Brown County tax. Somebody texted in and said the current 0.5% sales tax in Brown County has nothing to do with the current Green Bay Packers football field. The 0.5% sales tax was reissued by the county board and did not require any sort of referendum, and is used for funding things like STEM Innovation Center and county infrastructure, and has nothing to do with the Packers. That was what I said. It was supposed to run out from a stadium district standpoint, but not only does it still exist, it was reissued. The original one discontinued in 2015, but then started again in 2018, was supposed to run out in 2024, and then didn't run out. I believe it's projected to eliminate county debt or something in the long run. But
Sure.
the weird part is that it started with a Brown County-wide public vote. But since then, that one has run out, yet the board somehow got another 0.5% sales tax added back in. It was hairy here. I remember
Sure.
that like yesterday, going, wait a minute. Wasn't this, where was this money?
What's next?
So it's probably a thing to stay, but it existed in the beginning for Lambeau Field. Truth.
I want to quickly get to this one. I know we got to go to break, but the 920 said the Packers play in Ashwaubenon technically. Yes, and the Brewers play in West
don't.
Milwaukee.
No, they
technically.
don't. The Packers do not play in Ashwaubenon.
It's technically Green Bay. It is.
The city of Green Bay.
West Milwaukee, I believe, is, or if not, it's like a street away for the Brewers, is like where American Family Field is located.
It should be noted that there's this weird, stupid thing around Lambeau Field that makes it in the city of Green Bay, and it's surrounded on the south side of Lombardi Avenue by Ashwaubenon. But indeed, it is the city of Green Bay where the Packers play. It's weird. Get in line. It's going to get weird for the Bears. You know where the baby Brewers play? Appleton, Wisconsin. Joining us next, the president and CEO of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers to talk spring training baseball and what it means for the single A affiliate of the Brewers here in Wisconsin when all is said and done. Rob Zerjav joins us next. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. song of all time. Perfect choice. Perfect. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Remember, the Brewers gave manager Pat Murphy a new 3-year deal yesterday with a 4th-year option, club option. Tim Allen, Tommy Wirtz, Hot Stove Weekly, they chatted last night with Jared Koenig, Jeff Levering, and The Miz about all things Pat Murphy and more. Go back and listen today at wisportsradio.com.
And we're gonna talk to Tim Allen at 8:00 as well. So
Beautiful.
Stay tuned for that.
Joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network's guest hotline, powered by Cooper Law. One call, that's all. Friend of the program, Rob Zerjab, the president and CEO of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. Rob, when you guys did your stadium renovations down there, we're talking about who's paying for the Bears Stadium and how we got Lambeau renovated, and AmFam Field had public funding and Fiserv Forum had public funding. When you remodeled what is now Neuroscience Field at Fox City Stadium, who paid for that?
No public funds for us. So that was out of our pocket.
Good. I mean, maybe bad for you, but good.
Pros and cons. Able to get done on time and what we wanted. Didn't have to jump through hoops and all the red tape. But yeah, public dollars, that's never a bad thing, I guess.
I mean, depending on who you ask.
Apparently, Chicago is like, no.
Yeah.
All right, so spring training games kick off tomorrow in Arizona, and it dawned on me that I wondered how much that involves the Timber Rattlers. You've talked to us in the past on the show about how you don't get to pick the players. They kind of land in your lap. But can you take us through what spring training means in regard to the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, the Class A affiliate of the Brewers?
Yeah, I think a lot of people just assume that our guys are and it's changed now, but just local guys that show up in April and start playing games. All of our guys go down to spring training. They're all down there with the Brewers. Some of them are down there now. Some of them are actually had invites to Major League Camp. So yeah, and I guess with the World Baseball Classic, we'll probably see a lot of these guys actually in spring training games. Well, it feels like half the Brewers roster is playing in the World Baseball Classic.
Rob, do you guys feel any pressure or maybe excitement more than a different team's minor league system because it's so important to the Brewers' success?
Yeah, again, I think our proximity to Milwaukee is a big help from a front office standpoint, from a fan standpoint. And again, like I mentioned, people really know the players now. They know the prospects. They'll know who these guys are before they get to Appleton, before I even get to know who they are. And it starts with, you look up and down the Brewers roster now, from Bryce Terang and Mizorowski, and then really it was Churio. Churio was kind of that, everybody knew who he was when he came to Appleton. People were coming out to see Churio play, and 2 years later he's a star in Milwaukee. So we're kind of seeing some of that already. Last year we had Jesus Mate with us, kind of a couple of weeks. We're crossing our fingers that he's going to come back to Appleton. My gut feeling tells me that he will be a Double-A to start the season.
Your gut feeling or your brain?
How it all wraps up. But still, we're anticipating, Luis Pena, Andrew Fisher, a lot of these big prospects coming back to Appleton. So expect to have a really good team this year.
Did you hear me? I said, is it your gut feeling or your brain that's telling you he's going to go to Biloxi?
I think it's the Brewers director of player development that tells me that he's going to Biloxi. But
yeah,
I'm still politicking and saying that he's too young and he needs to come back to Appleton for at least a month.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And let me know what dates so that I can promote it.
Those are big nights when guys from the big league club come up to Appleton to rehab. And Josh just said it would be nice to know dates. Unfortunately, you don't get to know those. How quickly, though, once it's announced, do you guys all but sell out when guys like the Big Woo are there rehabbing, which is never going to happen again? I just want to make sure. I'm sorry, but he's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah,
what's that like?
I feel, Brandon's fantastic. And he's now, I think, pitched for the Timber Rattlers the last 3 years, which, again, personally, we love from the Brewers standpoint. You'd like to see him in a Brewers uniform, but it's great. We'll find out, honestly, a day, maybe 2 days in advance that we're going to see a rehab. We put it out immediately in conjunction with the Brewers. And yeah, depending on who it is, tickets fly off the shelves. The first rehab we had was Dave Bush way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And we sold tickets like hotcakes. People were so excited for the first rehab. Again, sorry to say, even though it was kind of Dave Bush. Now I think the fans are a little bit more jaded. When we see Jonathan Lucroy, Ryan Braun, Brandon Woodruff, they come out in droves. But when we see some of the younger guys make a rehab start, I think they're like, oh, been there, done that. So they wait for the big names, or they wait for the big name prospects now to come through Appleton.
So you talked about how sometimes you got, the prospects, these players, they come to you, and the fan base now, because they're so into the weeds of minor league systems and who's going to be that next guy, sometimes the fan base knows them before you do. Is there a name that we might not know that is still kind of that far off, but that you guys are seeing could be the next big thing? I know that everyone's been talking about Made and some of these other guys that I think are going to be up here much sooner than later. But is there someone else that in, I don't know, 3 to 4 years we should keep an eye out for?
The way it goes now, these guys are so refined that they speed through the system. I'll throw some names out, but I'm guessing everybody would be like, oh, he's a big time prospect. One, I'd say he's actually been invited to spring training, Luke Adams. Luke was with us. He wasn't a high draft pick, super talented, gets on base like no tomorrow. I think he set the Midwest League record for hit by pitches. He just has a knack for always getting hit, but he's always on base. Plays first base, third base. Again, like I said, he had an invite to Major League camp. So he's very talented, kind of sneaky on the radar. But then this year, Andrew Fisher, again, big prospect. He was the Brewers' number 1 draft pick, but super impressed with him at third base. He didn't play a whole lot of third base in college, came to the Brewers, and he can pick it. He plays third base probably one of the best third basemen I've seen play for the Timber Rattlers. So I'm extremely excited about Andrew Fisher. Marco Dingus, catcher, again, higher draft pick. He was a catcher for us last year. Didn't play a ton of catcher in college, but really looked good behind the plate. Tons of power. So he could definitely be a hit first kind of catcher, but I think he's got the tools. So again, the Brewers system is so stacked. But there's just kind of a handful of guys that have come through with us more recently that maybe aren't on the doorstep, but I think I'm excited about.
We're chatting with the president and CEO of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers in Appleton, the Class A affiliate of your Milwaukee Brewers. A lot of things happen on the field. And at these games, at the Timber Rattlers, even more things happen off the field. We used to call it there's a game on the field, and then there's a complete game off the field with ticket giveaways and theme nights and bobbleheads and jerseys and so much more. We saw the Brewers release their giveaway promotional schedule. You've had yours out for some time. What are some of the biggest items that fans should watch for coming out of Fox City Stadium this year?
Yeah, you're exactly right. So tons of promotions, tons of things happening off the field. We love to say if you're not a baseball fan, you're still going to love a Timber Rattlers game. But, we're known for our bobbleheads. We'll do 10 bobbleheads a year. This year's lineup is fantastic. From Bryce Terang, Jackson Churio, Jesus Made, Luis Pena. And then there's the characters too, our mascots, Whiffer and Fang. So lots of bobblehead giveaways this year. I'd say the big one for people to kind of pay attention to, we have an all-fan Sal Frelick jersey giveaway. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the third game of the season, so Saturday, April 4th. So you come on out. We have various sizes, so it's not just extra large. It's not just medium and extra large. It's every size, so come on out. All fans get a Sal Frelick jersey on Saturday, April 4th.
I wanted to, if you're watching us on Twitter or YouTube right now, Trevor's got some of his Timber Rattler bobbleheads.
One of the most famous, Scooter versus the Snowman.
Yeah, tell us about this real quick. So if you're not watching, it was Scooter Jeanette and a snowman on home plate, and that's when the fight started. A lot of people don't realize the T-Rats start when there's still snow in the forecast here in Northeast Wisconsin. And this was a big one. By the way, that's all Doug Gottlieb's fault. Yesterday, he said, are we done with winter? Or Wednesday, are we done with winter? We're done with winter, right? Nope. But now that you said that out loud, people are going to hate you even more. You were almost recovered, DG. And then you went and said that.
Yeah. So again, we are not fortunate enough to have a retractable roof in Appleton, but we will see some snow. And yeah, the year it was Scooter Jeanette, Chris Davis, a very talented team. They came to town and it snowed, and it was a pretty good snow. And again, a lot of our players too are coming from Latin America, Dominican Republic. They've never seen snow before, so it's a big deal for them. And they're all like kids in a candy store. So they got down on the field. They built a snowman. They all got their picture taken with it. And then Scooter, he was 18, I think, at the time, took the bat to it, and we memorialized it with that bobblehead. And yeah, that was a big one. The same one with the other one you had with Fang and Bernie. That was the first year. 2009, we became a Brewers affiliate, and a couple of fond memories.
The last one I have for you here, Robin, and again, thank you so much for joining us. So the minor leagues in general, but you guys kill it on the theme nights. Trevor brought it up. The Utter Tuggers was probably the most popular, the biggest when that was announced. I literally drove to Appleton from Milwaukee the day it was announced to buy a hat, because I went, these are going to sell out immediately. I don't know if I'll ever get one. I'm getting it right now. I literally drove to Appleton. I was like, this is amazing. I need to get this hat. You guys have also done things with the bratwurst and the uniforms with that. Is there a theme night that's going to have like a new edition hat coming out this year that I should be marking on my calendar when I'm driving up to Appleton to get it?
John, great question. The other one we debuted the frozen pizzas last year.
Yeah, the frozen pizza last year.
Yeah, that was a really big one. We have been extremely successful with our alternate brands, to the point where a lot of teams are doing them in minor league baseball, and Major League Baseball has now put a cap on the number of alternate identities. So we are capped out, and
they ruin everything.
Wait, meaning you can only have a certain number of them, Rob?
Correct. So we've been grandfathered in. So we have 5 of them, and I think we're allowed 3, but we get grandfathered in these because they've been so popular. And Major League Baseball knows that we're making money; they make money off of it as well.
So let's end it.
So we're going to probably eventually retire something and then maybe bring something back. But
that's what I was going to ask. Yeah, it's not like we can't keep doing them. You can refresh. You can go away with one and come out with something new.
Exactly. But again, we can't get rid of the Utter Tuggers. The brats and the uniforms are just iconic. Frozen pizzas is such a, again, and I think that was the one thing that people didn't realize, how big of frozen pizzas are to the state of Wisconsin. And that the vast majority of frozen pizza does come from and is manufactured right here in Wisconsin, let alone eaten here in Wisconsin. So that was a really fun one last year, and I think we've got some tweaks to that we'll be making too along the way.
Okay.
So the jersey giveaways and all that jazz. Josh and I talked about this the other day when the Brewers giveaways came out, that they give away sizes medium and extra large. And yet we just talked about how frozen pizzas and brats are the biggest things ever in Wisconsin. Do you guys give away bigger sizes than XL by chance?
Sal Frelick jersey, the jersey we're doing on April 4th, yes. So they will be, I believe we get up to triple X for that one. So yeah, that's all fans. So come on out. You can get in line and get your size. But again, the other jersey giveaways that we do, it is medium and extra large. So it's tough. And we'll get the comments. And Trevor, I know you're 6'7". Are we allowed to say that?
No, you can't.
You can.
No,
you
6'8".
No, it's true.
6'8". Okay. So I get it. But we try to appease the vast majority of people. Kids are usually the mediums. Adults will be the extra large.
We're going to take a poll on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Men listening, what size jersey do you wear? I'm just curious if the masses are XLs. Are they mediums or XLs? This is a me and Josh problem. This is not a you problem. This is a we're left out all the time and don't like it problem. But thanks for the double and triple X's in the jersey giveaways.
Yeah, we do appreciate
we appreciate. Yep.
Yes, I'd love to see the results of your poll. I think we're going to come out ahead on this one. That it's medium, extra large, or the vast majority of people. But I'd love to know, and we can make changes.
You heard it here first.
There we go.
Rob Zerjav, the president and CEO of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, the Baby Brewers in Appleton. Season starts April 2nd. Rob, thanks for jumping on. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks, Rob.
Rob Zerjav on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. First message 3X fat. Here's why that. Do you know what that's from, Josh?
No.
That's Dan Patrick. So in Dan Patrick, they used to make you give your stats. It was 6'8", 290, or 6'2",
sure,
350, and they would go fat. That's what that's from.
Got it.
All right, we'll watch that poll and report back. Tim Allen joins us at the top of the hour. Let's take a break. We're back in a bit. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Wisconsin, remember, if you missed any portion of today's show, yesterday, the day before, you can find us in podcast form. Search Inside Wisconsin Sports on your favorite podcast platform, or go to wisportsradio.com and catch an episode by the hour, by the segment, by the full episode. Your call, wisportsradio.com. That's also where you can catch all the chatter from Tim Allen and Tommy Wartz on Hot Stove Weekly last night. Jared Koenig, Jeff Levering, The Miz, all guests. Check out that episode at wisportsradio.com. Tim Allen actually joins us coming up next at the top of the hour. We'll revisit a lot of those conversations and continue to talk about the franchise's expectations as the Brewers start spring training play tomorrow in Arizona. What do you call it when you have to, like, public notice? What do I say? Like, hey, PSA. PSA.
Public service announcement. Sure.
Thank you. A moment ago, I read a text that said 3X fat.
Yes. You were calling me and everyone else fat. Yes.
Shut your face. This shirt I'm wearing. Okay, let me pause here. That was the text. 3X fat. I did not say fat after 3X.
How dare you?
I will call this. I will call this person on the air if you make me. That's what they texted in.
Yeah.
I say this because the very shirt I'm wearing right now is a 3X.
Yeah.
This is not a shaming situation.
To mock me and the rest of us. Right? Is that?
Are you a 3X?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think you were.
Well, these t-shirt shirts, it's in between. It depends. But 2X to 3X.
Yeah,
but
same.
The Roosevelt shirts that I wear every day, those are 3X.
Here's why I hate the idea of the X's when they don't get longer. For me, I'm a 2X tall, and on a good summer day, maybe down a couple lbs, I'm a 1X tall, or a 1X tall. Yeah.
Humble brag. Yeah.
Shut up. The idea is they don't get longer. They only get wider. And so when I drown in a shirt, it's because I needed a bigger size and they don't get longer. How am I doing on recovery? Not well.
Not great. Not great at all.
We talked about this in the break. And Josh is like, I'm just going to put the screws to you on this. And I'm like, well, I at least have to correct myself because somebody texted in and was like, wow, what was that? I'm like, hold on. I was reading a text message.
I'm just waiting for Trevor's troll. I'm like,
dude,
he's putting on a play for you.
Pull over.
Shortest poll in show history.
But I got to be honest, the poll is proving our take right.
Well, but what did I tell you? I said it's because the mediums and XLs don't feel the need to participate. As a 3Xer, I've always been, feeling the need to voice my opinion, saying we need bigger sizes.
Yeah, but here's what this is where you just like to twist the screws. So, hey, Josh, you're a 3X, right?
Yeah.
Remember that one time when you got me a 2X shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Who had it?
What do you mean?
Well, the Brewer game. Remember the shirts that the radio station came out with, and I said, "Hey, grab me a 2X."
Yeah.
But who ended up wearing that?
I wore it. Yeah, I wore it.
Oh,
I wore that 2X.
Why?
Well, I wore that 2X because it was lucky, and so I was like, "Well, they won before, so I'm not giving you the shirt. I'm going to wear it." But I get your point. That's why I said I'm in between. I can wear a 2X shirt. I just don't, I'm an in-betweener, 2.5X. I don't know. Either way, I'm not an XL tall 6'8".
Tim Allen's coming up next inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Turn on the music. Pull over. Pull done. There's a large. See, you're wrong. The mediums and I don't think so. I think they need to come out with bigger sizes. Don't give me this inventory crap. It's Wisconsin.
Or do things like bar dice as a giveaway.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
The outlet pass for Keller, a defenseman. Nice move, cuts to the net, score! Megan Keller, the overtime hero, United States, wins gold in Milan.
We chose not to play Austin Powers 2 days in a row, but all I wanted to hear was gold. It's gold.
All I wanted to hear was Freebird.
That's good. 2-1, USA over Canada. Overtime, Megan Keller. And a whole den full of Badgers, as Russell Wilson would say, that helped get that team to overtime because they laid an egg for the first, carry the 1-2 periods in like 18-ish more minutes. But nonetheless, they pull it out. Now it's the men's turn. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. The man, the myth, the legend, the franchise. Mr. Tim Allen. What's up, Tim? Good to see you again, my man. Happy Friday.
Yeah, good morning. I think this is my video debut on your show.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Woo!
I hate it.
All right, well.
I
Happy
do.
Friday to you too.
I do. No, it's I'm so used to radio. It's a microphone here, as you can see. It's audio, and then all of a sudden I, come back over here to where it all began, and they said, well, part of the deal is you have to do video, and I said I don't want to do video. I just don't want to do it, and they said, well, it might be a deal breaker. So I had to agree to it. So that's fine.
Tim, I'm sorry to say this. Just wait a couple of years. They're going to add another sense. It'll be that the listeners get to touch you somehow.
Yeah,
too.
they would reach out.
That'll be the next thing. That'll be the next thing. You just wait.
Out on that, in on Brewers baseball, spring training games. Timmy, start tomorrow. What should we expect?
Yeah, man, it's I said it last night, although it's probably not a PC thing to say, but it's just a figure of speech. Live bullets flying around Arizona tomorrow in terms of Cactus League action going on. And I think the most interesting thing here is seeing the younger players that are big camp invites. And in multiples, too. Eventually, once the World Baseball Classic clears a little bit, I mean, you're going to see Jackson Churio hooking up with Jesus Mate and Luis Pena and Andrew Fisher, and then sprinkle in, oh, by the way, there's Bryce Terangs and Sal Frelick's in here, Garrett Mitchell's. It is really, I mean, if there's ever a year that you would want to head out to Arizona, and I'm going to advocate for an Arizona trip every single year we get to spring. This would be the year to do it, to see just all these younger high-end prospects mesh in with the big leaguers. This is the year to go. I was just telling some buddies the other day that they're like, well, we can't do it this year. Well, then make plans for the next year or the year after. I mean, it's not cheap. I will admit that. I mean, because you've got a ton of teams out there. The tourist stuff is all going on, but it is super cool. And it's a close look at the team. You can watch some workouts free of charge. You head in there and just head into Maryvale and just, watch your wallets maybe a little bit. But you can head into American Family Fields of Phoenix and really watch these guys work out, take some real up close pictures, get some autographs. Now, obviously, you have to clear out by the time the game starts and all that, but it is super cool. That, just to answer your question though, Trevor, younger players meshing with the big leaguers. It's high end this year of all years.
Love it.
Timmy, I feel like there are two things that Brewers fans like to complain about the most. Okay. The first is needing to spend more money. And the second is not focusing on the future, but focusing on the now.
Mm-hmm.
At least one of those, it seemed like yesterday, we got to see a little bit of a turn. Pat Murphy gets a new contract. A lot of people in the state of Wisconsin, actually everyone that I've talked to, celebrates that news. The man got paid. The Brewers take care of Pat Murphy, but this is also, the money not going towards a player, but going on to keeping the best manager in the bigs. Your thoughts on that new contract for Pat Murphy?
And keeping the blueprint intact, I think, is a way to look at it too. That part of the success, we all have to agree, is Pat Murphy and his style. His style's a little bit different than other managers. I think a lot of people are going to call it an extension. It's in effect, I guess, an extension, but it's really a brand new deal. Now, this was his last year of his contract here in 26. Well, what they did was they said, no, we're going to scrap that and give you a new 3-year deal, 26, 27, 28, and then a club option for 29. I'm assuming based on that is that he got a big raise for this year. So the end of the prior 3-year contract would have been this year. They hiked the price on that would be my guess. And I haven't seen some of the numbers officially yet on what he's paid. But it's a beautiful thing. That broke last night while we were on the air, and I was just in celebratory mode because, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of Pat Murphy, and he's a huge part of the success. Back-to-back Manager of the Year. The only other time that's been done, go back to 04 and 05, that's Bobby Cox. So well worth whatever money they spent on it. Now, Josh, to your point on – when is it not about the future? When is it about now? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. And to a degree, I agree with the fans that say Mark Atanasio should spend a little more money. I do agree to some extent on that. I think they should hang around guys that $140 million range. St. Louis seems to get away with it. Right in that 150, 140, 160, somewhere in there. I don't think that would break the bank. I don't think that, imagine this. Imagine Matt Arnold, Pat Murphy, Chris Hook, and everybody else. The ivory tower, the front office, as it were, having an additional $25 million to spend. With how they do things now add in $20 million more dollars. Oh, man, what a difference maker. When is that going to be? I think they'll do it. If this continues, and I'm not saying it's horrible baseball. They won 3 consecutive division titles. They won a playoff series, got to the NLCS. I'm not saying that's horrible, but at what point? And we discussed this some weeks ago, guys, on your show. But at what point do you change the schematic just a tick and say, you know what? This year, without expending all of our draft capital or our prospect capital, if you will, at what point do we say, well, we're going to choose this year? We're going to go for it this year. And now we have to, now we're 3 levels deep now. Now we have to define going for it. What exactly is that? Is that just money? Well, it's a good start in my mind.
Tim Allen joining us on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. A couple questions out of that. I'll ask the first one, and then I want to come back to who's in their prime and what does that mean and who's peaked on the Brewers. I know it's going to be a long conversation. But my first one real quick, Josh brought this up earlier in regard to Ricky Weeks. And with Murph being extended, if you will, with a new deal, was that the plan, you think, Tim?
I think.
Meaning, do you think that Murphy was in the mix for the long term, or were they really only thinking that he was going to be here a couple of years and it was off to Ricky?
Simply my guess, and it's quite fascinating that you bring it up too, Trevor, that when they brought in Weeks, I think it was a succession plan of sorts. Look, every form of business has their plan A, B, C, and D, and if you don't, you better start some. You can't just push all your your chips into one thing, and then when you get an because you'll get those surprises, good and bad. And when a bad one pops up, you better have plan B intact. I think we have it here at the radio station. I think every good business should and does. But I think I guessed at that time that, Murph, you better succeed here, because it looks like Ricky Weeks is going to be the man through the transition of Council exiting. The problem in their succession plan, and again, this is my guess, was that Murph did so damn good.
Right.
And now they had to switch gears and say, okay, well, what do we have for Ricky Weeks? Now, if you rewind the clock, going back to Craig Counsell, if you look at the way he climbed the ladder to the managerial job, he performed all sorts of duties, guys. He was a special assistant. He was in the scouting department. Hell, he was doing broadcasting TV games for a snippet there. So he caught every aspect of the business side of baseball. So they switched gears on Ricky Weeks and said, okay, we got him in the dugout. That's fine. He's gotten that experience. Murph did so well. We're going to move you up and get you other aspects of the team and almost start over here on the succession plan. So Murph isn't getting any younger. Guy's 68 years old.
Right.
And so I think to a degree that succession plan is still intact.
Interesting. So then, you bring that up to Murph, and you talk about his age, and he wants to flush you down the toilet. Do you think Murph thought that, or was he going, it's mine, forget you?
Well, I mean, I would say it equates to a lot of businesses these days. I mean, we've always said in radio, you're hired to be fired. You're going to be fired at some time. Format's going to change. They're going to clean house. There's going to be a axe swung, staff cleaning. There's all sorts of things that can go on in any business. I think Murph is smart enough to know that at some point, your days are numbered, and at some point, you're going to go. Man, you can't argue with the success, just the whole feel of it, the entertainment value, all of it, the baseball side of things, the entertainment value, the visuals, the camaraderie, the staying connected as a team. It's been incredible. But yeah, Murph, I mean, managers are getting younger these days too, Trevor. They really are. True. And you take Tennessee. University's manager headed out to San Francisco, just bam, boom. He goes from college to, he didn't even manage in the minor leagues at all. They are getting younger for sure.
Yeah, except for the great ones that are winning back-to-back Manager of the Year.
Yeah.
Adam McCalvy, 4 minutes ago, guys, just posted a little snippet of Matt Arnold saying, quote, Pat Murphy has been an incredible partner and leader here for over a decade. I'm thrilled that we have been able to come up with a framework that keeps Murph with the Brewers for years to come and maintains the special relationship that we have established. I look forward to continuing the pursuit of a World Series championship with Murph and his staff. That from Adam McCalvy, who also then went on to talk about the contract that we brought up for Murph, saying that if the club exercised that option year, it would take him through his age 71 season. And then McCalvy jokes, right in his prime.
Wow. Well, look at the age range of his kids, for crying out loud.
Very, very, very funny use of words there from Adam McCalvy, based on some of the conversations, Tim, that we had yesterday here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, talking about players that are in their prime, maybe not in their prime yet. The biggest one in regards to the Brewers that came up for me was The Miz, and me saying, I don't think he's in his prime yet. I think he's at least a season out of truly being there. I think that he needs to prove that he can go at least 5 innings every game as a starter. You talked to him on Hot Stove Weekly last night. How was the conversation with Miz?
It was good. A couple of things jumped out at me, and he's not a super talkative guy. You got to be prepared with him. But the first thing that popped out was the innings on the season. And typically in baseball, I think each team has their own threshold, but typically in baseball, a 20% increase of innings year over year is where they want to stay until you peak at your 190 innings or whatever it might be, whatever the standard is for you on a 30 start basis. He pitched roughly the same amount. This is raw math. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but between the minors and majors last year, it was about the same amount of innings, equaling right around $130 or so, 130. And then I asked him, is 175, 185? Now that's a bigger jump than 20%. But is that about the range? He said yes. So that's one thing that jumped out at me is the innings increase. And innings, aren't the same as they were even 20 years ago. You're just not seeing innings eaters out there on a regular basis. 5 and you're out the door most times. You have 1 or 2 on each staff around baseball, all 30 teams, but 5 1/3, 5 2/3. Oh, wow. Why are we impressed so much with 6 flat innings these days? Well, I mean, he went 6 innings, a 2-run ball. Way to go. It should be a little bit more, but that's just not baseball these days. Specialized bullpens that play a part. So that jumped out, innings increase. He thought that was about a fair number. I think that's the word he used too. Fair, 175 to 185. All right. Then the next thing that jumped out at me is I sort of prepped him on the question about his emotions out there. And personally, as a fan, I love it when Abner Uribe is dancing off that mound after striking out Kyle Tucker or something like that. I love fist pumps from Jared Koenig, or Trevor McGill was just screaming at the crowd. I mean, I love those things, and Miz got into it too. So I had rumblings, and again, I told him that I don't have these highfalutin inside sources. I mean, I'm not that guy, but I did hear rumblings about him being told to temper it back a little bit. And he did validate that he said there was 1 or 2. And I don't know, I can't remember right now if he said players or 1 or 2 people did say, hey, stay in control here. And I said, no, don't do it. Don't, because we love that as fans. And that might be part of his game to capture that emotion. We see how you guys see how emotional that kid is. Mm-hmm. And I tend to think that motivates players. And I did end that part of the conversation with, dude, you're not showing up anybody. I think that's the word he used too. He was told not to show up people. But I said, Miz, you're not showing up people. You're just celebrating your own success. And if other players think that that's showing them up, well, go pound sand, man. That's just, that's just him celebrating a huge strikeout in the 6th inning or something. I love the emotion. I've always loved an emotional player. And most times a bat flip isn't to show up a pitcher. It's to celebrate a huge swing. Most times when you're pumping your fist around first base after a 2-run shot to give you the lead in the 8th inning, they're not doing that. They're not looking at the pitcher. They're just pumping their fists. And same thing with Miz coming off the mound. Just, man, let him celebrate. Let him be happy, because if you try and control that, you might start to control the production too, and we don't want that.
Tim Allen, Inside Wisconsin Sports, Hot Stove Weekly, all the above. One more, and then we'll get you off this video,
Sure.
we promise.
Okay.
Our conversation next is about unsung heroes. What players and or what positions don't get the credit they deserve? Is there an unsung hero spot on the Brewers in your mind?
There's a few, Trevor. I think you look at Jake Bowers and what he does for the team. I don't think he gets as much credit as he deserves. There's one, William Contreras, just last year, didn't get enough credit. And maybe I was guilty of this too. Dude was playing with a broken finger the whole year. I mean,
I don't want to type with a broken finger.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. There were times where someone would foul a pitch off his glove and he just dropped the glove and he's like, oh man, that hurt. And then right back at it. He deserves a lot of credit. Again, there's these unsung guys in every single bullpen that you don't. There's these setup guys that get the credit. They get the holds. If say for the sake of the argument that McGill is the closer this year, and I'm not convinced he's the closer all year long. I think that flips at some point to Uribe, although I do like deploying him whenever, wherever. So we have to account for that. But let's just say it is those guys. Who's the guy before him, though? The Jared Koenigs, or last year, the Nick Mears, guys like that. Those are unsung heroes as well. So watch for those guys, whether that's going to be Angel Serpa or whether that's going to be a Aaron Ashby. There's another one. Ashby, he had a dynamite year last year, guys, and you're not paying him big time money. He signed a $3 million a year, $15 million contract.
Well, how many starts did he get in the playoffs?
Yeah, no, and he was dynamite too.
Right.
He was excellent. Chad Patrick, unsung hero, Bulldog, I call him. But offensively, I'm going to echo Jeff Levering last night when we talked to him. Keep your eyes on Joey Ortiz. I'm not saying quantum leap.
Oh boy.
But I know, Josh, I'm going to stay as positive as I can.
I know you have been. You're riding that train hard here.
I am. But okay, talk to me in June. Let's target that A's series in Las Vegas. Well, you got to give them
June.
You got to give them 2 months. You definitely do.
Oh,
I think that's a fair shot. Let's target June 8, 9, and 10. That is the series in Las Vegas.
Jeez.
Okay, that you may see me go on a little rant if Joey Ortiz is hitting like 209.
It'll be way before June for me.
Okay.
Tim Allen, Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. We love you, buddy. Have a great weekend. We'll chat again next week.
Yeah, right back at you.
Thanks, Tim.
Unsung heroes, the players, the positions. Who makes your top 5 list on a Top 5 Friday? We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Milwaukee, Green Bay, 7:10 the game in Duluth Superior. All of them are fans of our conversation with Doug Gottlieb. Wausau is pissed at him today because they're getting snow. It's his fault.
It is. Yeah, we literally said, no, it's not done. And then like that night, they were like, and hope you enjoyed today. Snow in the forecast.
Yeah. Anyway, his fault, not ours.
That's right.
We Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, the conversation of unsung heroes in sports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this so it's a top 5 Friday. We try to put top 5 lists together. And I was like, Trevor, this is a beauty because as we've been celebrating all day, and honestly, all Olympics, the U.S. women's hockey team, gold medalists, champions, they've been dominating the entire time, right?
Yeah.
And we play highlight after highlight
yesterday.
after highlight of goal scorer, goal scorer, goal scorer. You know who had one of the best Olympic performances? Erin Frankel, the goalie for Team USA. She faced 99 shots, gave up 2 goals, and had 3 shutouts in 5 games for Team USA.
Absurd.
Those are unreal numbers. But the highlights are of Edwards and of, Keller, and take your pick. Because that's the juice, right? Is the offense, is that type of scoring. And that had me thinking, who are the unsung heroes? Not necessarily, and you can if there's a specific name that pops out to you, but I'm talking like positions in sports that get no love, but get all the crap when something goes wrong. If their name gets brought up, it's because something went wrong. Never when something goes right.
That goalie yesterday saved the Olympics for Team USA. Our skating was poor. Our goaltending was spot on.
Mm-hmm.
The number of saves that she had to make in order for us to come home with the gold, bonkers, for sure. All right, Top 5 Friday. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. Who are some of the unsung hero positions in sports? Tying them back to Wisconsin, if at all possible, maybe with a name or two. Number 5 for you, Josh.
Yeah, so the number, and these are from least to most disrespected, I guess, in terms of positions in sports. Number 5 for me is the middle relief pitcher. We just heard Tim Allen talking about it. It's if you're the setup man or the closer and pitching or a starter, it's your role is pretty defined. You started the game. If you're a setup man, you have just the 8th inning, or you're the closer, you have the 9th. People are dialed in. They're focused on it. They go, boom. They did what they were supposed to do. Middle relief picks up the slack. They're just kind of in there, and it's just get us to the setup guy. Come on, just get us to the 8th. Not celebrated as much as they are hated on if they give up that lead, and now the team has to claw their way back.
Number 5 for me is the place kick holder. Everything goes right, and nobody talks about the holder. But the laces are sideways once, and that guy's ass is grass.
Yep, that's definitely one. That's up there on my list. Number 4 on my list is offensive lineman. Because if the quarterback's getting sacked, or if the running back just can't find a hole, it's the line's fault. If the line is making huge holes, it's, man, what a year for that running back. He ran for 1,000 yards. Yep. And no love for the line that made the hole for him to get there. That was all on the running back. Unsung hero.
Number 4 for me, the basketball manager. Listen, if the Gatorade's off, his fault.
Come on.
No, I'm dead serious. Oh, my buddy Jesse, when we were in high school, prided himself on his Gatorade. And that guy always has a towel, always has a water bottle, always has the Gatorade, the clipboard, you name it. If that dude or that woman is on, you never see him. But when the guy hands Doug Gottlieb the wrong clipboard, whoa, look out.
Yeah. Number 3 for me is the hockey goalie. It's a position that does not get the love. We just pointed it out before for the U.S. women's Olympic team. But also, it's a position that if they literally have like an emergency backup in case, like in the stands, that's not even part of the team. They're just like, well, we can stick any guy in there. The disrespect for hockey goalies and the love that they don't get is pretty insane.
Well, look, when the hockey team wins, the first person they go and say thanks to is the goalie. When the hockey team loses, that poor bastard has to walk back to the locker room by himself.
100%. 100%. Yep.
Number 3 for me is the glue guy. We heard of this a lot this year in the NFL, specifically with the Packers when Bo Melton went down.
Oh.
Rare is the person that comes up that is the glue guy. And it came up this year when Bo Melton got injured. Everybody was devastated, and yet all of us are going, we don't even know what position he plays. You know what position he played? The glue guy.
Yeah, the locker room, the guy that you don't see on the stat line, but he brings a lot of other stuff to the team. No, that's a good one. Number 2 for me is long snapper. It's a position that you have one job, right? You're not out there on every play. You're not creating those holes. Literally, your job is to snap the ball a longer than normal distance accurately. No love for that guy. And if you mess up, everything is your fault.
Yep. That's exactly. God, is that true?
It's a tough job.
Those two positions in general, the long snapper and the holder, we're never supposed to know their name. Unsung. All right, number 2 for me is the third base coach in baseball.
Yeah.
Everything is great when the safe is the call at the play of the plate, or just a basic, guy on second, single comes up, score, everything's fine. But boy, when that guy or gal gets it wrong, I can't believe they sent him.
Yeah.
What are they doing sending them? That's nope, had nothing to do with the runner blowing past any type of stop sign.
Right.
It's just, and this year, in particular with the Brewers, Matt Erickson, the new third base coach, let's just hope we never hear his name.
Right. But isn't that crazy that like your position, if you have dreams of being a part of it, and if your name comes up, it's only going to be in a negative way. Damn, that's tough. We brought it up a bunch here, but my number 1 is the placeholder. It's the idea of making a field goal, that kick, it's a process. It's an art form from the snap to the hold to the kick. Everything has to be online and perfect, and never, ever is it good job getting that hold down. Man, they would not have won that game if not for that fantastic, hold and spin of the laces from the placeholder on that day. Never hear that. Never will. Although if he doesn't get it or he fumbles it on the snap, it's highlighted. It's shown in super duper slow motion. Here's where he messed up. We'll see if he has a job on Monday. Okay.
My number 1, you mentioned it a little, only I'm going to dive deeper. It's the center in football. I have paid more attention to the center position in football the last 3 or 4 years than I have my entire life. My son, although isn't real fond of the position, is the center in football. He could have perfect snaps for 7, 8 games, 2 seasons in a row. I mean, perfect.
Yeah.
And if one is low or goes over the quarterback's head, hell to pay.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Who's this kid? What is he doing? We got to get him. Nope. Actually, completely perfect for the longest time. And the worst part is that's when the teammates are the loudest too. Come on, man, be better. Hold on. Did you see the 1,000 snaps I made that were perfect before that?
Right. You got to be perfect every time. Every time. So many unsung heroes in the world of sports. We go to the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. And I want to point out there are a few of these. Like someone brought up the bullpen catcher. Okay. Now,
that's a good one.
Well, but bullpen catcher is interesting because to me, like, he's not getting love or hate, right? Like he's there. He has a job. He goes to work. He does a job. I've never in my life heard, well, that guy in the bullpen didn't get loose or his command is off because the bullpen catcher did something wrong. Like he's just there. He's just a guy.
You can still be an unsung hero if you
correct.
have a major impact on the team without any negative feedback.
Sure. But I'm saying like that position, I feel like going into that, if you know that's your role, you know, I'm just here and I will forever always just be in the shadows in the background. Some of these other guys we brought up, like a lawn snapper or a place kick, like those guys know my name can get brought up in a negative light, but will never in a positive.
The 906, Matt LaFleur. Nope. Moving on. 920, Ian from Appleton. Number 1 offensive lineman. He is an offensive lineman coach.
It has to be. Yeah.
920 says situational lefty. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And
I
then
like
my
that.
favorite, the 262, beer is every event's unsung hero. Not just sports, but it only gets recognized negatively.
Now that I'll fight you on. I think beer gets its dues all the time. I think there are plenty of times where people are celebrating beer.
Well, but it never gets brought up how awesome Miller Lite is until somebody gets in a fight at the county fair at 1:30 in the beer tent. Oh, look, there they are.
I don't know about that. I think that people are happy to see a beer once in a while, talk about how happy they are with a special, or if someone buys the next round, beer gets its love.
Scotty Tiffany says punter, specifically Daniel Whelan. I'm pretty sure he is a front-facing hero most of the time.
This one from the 920, underappreciated for sure. Baseball catchers, crouching, blocking, etc. It's very true. There's so much that goes in to just the physical status of a catcher, but also their importance to the game, right? Not just catching a ball and throwing it back, but calling for the pitches, what they need to know. Then they need to go in the dugout, take off all their gear, get ready to go bat, then put it all back on again. Yeah.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir. Listen to this. Infield team for baseball. It's kind of like the center, right? Joey Ortiz could have a gold, platinum, diamond, all of it. Boots one.
Everyone's mad at him. Yeah, but I think that also people are looking at his bat too. You know, if someone boots one in the infield, people are mad at you. But, you know, then if you're also batting 290, 295, people are like, okay, he's got to fix that. But all right, here we go. Here we go. One time, good eye.
Here we go with Rami. 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Mackloft. Rami joins us up next to cross over and get us closer to the weekend. Please, God, the weekend.
Talking about his Indiana Bears.
Oh, yeah. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. If you missed any part of today's show or any previous show or interview or segment or literally anything, open up your podcast platform, search Inside Wisconsin Sports, and there we will be. You can also head to wisportsradio.com. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht, Rami Makloff joining us as we cross over with our friends from 9 to noon. Next week, Rami.
Yes. Morning,
I
boys.
will be broadcasting this half of the show live from Lambeau Field in the Johnsonville Tailgate Village for a big Give Big Green Bay nonprofit push here in Northeast Wisconsin, much like the toy drive that you guys were all part of there in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
My question is, that's never going to change. Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin.
There it is.
I was wondering how you'd come back around to this. Okay.
It appears that it's a plausibility. Now, listen, we've seen this before.
Right.
And Indiana and Chicago and the Bears and all of it. But there was one key difference with this one that I'm curious to get your take on. Legislation actually passed.
Right.
Meaning things moved forward in Indiana's state government that would make this an actual real thing. Is Chicago just going to find a big bag of money, or what is the delay down there?
Well, I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs and what to my understanding, the Bears own this plot of land in Arlington Heights where the old Arlington racetrack used to be. They bought it. They bought it like 3 years ago, and they don't want money for a stadium. But what they do want is the state to pony up for the infrastructure around the stadium, upgrade the highways, upgrade the train stations that people are going to use to get in and out of the stadium, not just for Bears games, but concerts and who knows what else, World Cup in the future, whatever it might be. So that has been the sticking point, as far as my understanding, between the state of Illinois and the Chicago Bears. Yesterday, it was very overreported as if this was a done deal and the Bears are going to Indiana. I don't think that's the case. Dan Wiederer, who covers the Bears for The Athletic, he said, there's a lot of information out there and a lot of it is wrong. Nothing is a done deal. The mayor of Indiana was on our Milwaukee station's sister station, The Score down in Chicago yesterday. He said it's not a closed deal, but we have something on the table solid for the Chicago Bears right now. So it's not as done as a lot of people think it is. We were just talking about the potential lockout in Major League Baseball during the break.
Yeah.
And I said to Josh, I said, that's a lot of posturing right there. Like they want us to believe that we are going to lose baseball in 2027. And they want outrage from both sides want outrage from the fans. Players want us pissed off at the owners. Owners want us pissed off at the players. They want public sentiment behind them to sort of help out their own cause. Until the Bears are in Indiana, I'm looking at all of this as posturing. I'm looking at all of this as posturing and playing hardball on both sides.
So I just want to go back to the Arlington, because that's what I thought was the case. So did the state, is it just come out and say no, we're not helping with infrastructure? Or have they not made an official statement?
I think they've given some allowances in terms of that. I don't think they've given, if they had given the Bears everything they wanted at this point, it'd be a done deal.
Okay.
It would be a done deal if they gave the Bears everything they wanted to make this thing happen in Arlington Heights. Like the lockout, like aliens, I'm very much I'll believe it when I see it type of guy.
Lockouts and aliens.
I'm very much, and that's where I am on the Bears thing. I just think it's not good for the legacy of the current Bears ownership if they move this team not just out of Chicago but out of the state of Illinois altogether. You're talking about the grandchildren of George Halas. You know what I mean? I don't think they want that on their record. They don't want that to be the thing that they're remembered for, that they move the Bears out of Chicago with Papa Bear looking down on him from wherever he may be right now. You know what I mean? I think they will take less to stay in Illinois. But Illinois is going to have to pony up something to make the Bears stay there and not go to Indiana.
So if the Packers were to ever leave Wisconsin, our heads would fall off.
Yes.
Do you feel the same way as a Bears fan?
If they go to Indiana, no. If they go to Indiana, it's not my preferred destination, especially that part of Indiana. But if they move to Indiana, it's still the Chicago metro area. Like that part of Indiana is still part of
Sure.
the Chicago metro area. So it's not, and actually it's closer to downtown Chicago than Arlington Heights is, strangely enough. You know what I mean? But if the whole Des Moines, Iowa thing, that's crazy. I really wouldn't like that. I think John Kuhn was the only one who threw this out there. St. Louis doesn't have a football team right now. Maybe they could make a play for the Bears.
Yeah. Then it's not the same team.
I'd have to find a new team. If the Bears moved to St. Louis. Indiana's not a big deal. And ultimately, I watch 99.9% of football games on TV. I think it's a better TV sport than it is a live sport. They can play the game on Mars. It's going to look the same to me. You know what I mean? And I'm still going to be rooting for the Bears. So I prefer they stay in Chicago or the Chicago area. I prefer they don't cross state lines. But ultimately, like, I'll get over it. You know what I mean? It's not that big a deal if they did move 45 minutes outside Chicago just because they crossed some imaginary line that we all drew. You know what I mean?
Spoken like a true Bears fan, Josh.
Yeah.
I'll get over it.
Yeah. Straight. I'm not in denial.
A life of getting
but
over
I'll
it.
be in denial.
Yeah, we've had to get over a lot of stuff. We've had to get over a lot of stuff in our lives as Bears fans. So yeah, I don't want it to happen, but if it does happen, I'll be all right. And I think most Bears fans will be all right. We'll have a sour taste.
Yeah, well, I don't feel bad for you.
Yep.
We'll have a sour taste, but winning a Super Bowl, that'll be a sweet chaser.
Absolutely. The Indiana Bears winning a Super Bowl. Yep. All right.
Someday.
I want to change the name over at it too. Indiana Blowfish.
Oh yeah, just change everything.
I don't know if the city can take away the Chicago label. Like I don't know if like the mayor Brandon Johnson or the governor JB Pritzker, if they can be like, you're no longer the Chicago Bears. We rebuke thee. And
I don't think so. That'd be crazy.
I don't think they can, but if they can, that might be a card they could play.
9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff. That's next. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We've been inside Wisconsin sports with Trevor and Josh. We'll see you Monday.
Because we're not done yet.